So welcome to the B2The7 Job Seeker Spotlight. Really, this last year has been a tough one for many job seekers that are currently out of work. They're looking for new opportunities. Today, we have four special guests that have been impacted by the Papa John's September 2020 announcement of Papa John's moving their corporate headquarters. So really what we wanted to do is allow a lot of my coworkers here, there's four of them, the opportunity to share this platform, to go over more around their backgrounds, what it is that they're looking for, their skills, kind of, where they want to go with their career. And hopefully we've got some hiring recruiters and managers out there that are watching that, look at these individuals and see how we can help them out. And, just as a FYI, we are currently streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. And if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask them in the comments. And I'm going to bring everybody on board and introduce you. So we've got Danny Evans, and Danny's, everybody that we've got on here, longtime employees. I've worked with each and every one of them. I can attest to, their skills, their character, who they are as people, individuals. And I will say, first off, there's not a bad person that's in this stream today. These are all quality individuals, quality people. That's the nice thing about Papa John's over the years is you've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people, and they're just, you call them your friends. So you got Danny Evans. He's a manager of training and content. We've got Kevin Matthews, senior marketing director of creative development and consumer connections. Scott Halfling. He is design and marketing specialist. And finally, Stephen Gillian. He is a product owner. So as we get started, I'm going to allow Kevin up first and just spend, about however long you want really, but, 5 minutes, just go through, be very comfortable. You'll be fine. But, talk about what it is that you're looking to do next in your career so that we have an idea of, what we need to either be looking for with you or having others to share. And I will also share their LinkedIn profiles in the comments as well so that you can connect with them. You can check them out on LinkedIn and see any of the other things that they potentially have. So Kevin, you are up first.
Oh, great, Bernie. Thank you for that. And I appreciate you attesting to my character, even though you won't loan me money. So that's attesting my character. That's good. Kevin Matthews. I'm a senior director of consumer connections and creative development, as Bernie said, for Papa John's. Been in this role almost 23 years. It's been a great ride, but it's coming to an end. Didn't want to move to Atlanta, so I'm staying here in the Louisville area. I do have family here, so Louisville is my home. Within my current responsibilities, wow, it's, like I said, it's been 23 great years with the brand. I'm currently responsible for managing our national agency of record. Manage a multi-million-dollar account. The agency of record does the TV production for all the national television spots. I direct them on the development of all of our national media. I also have an internal team of creative group that works with us at the office that's responsible for all your traditional marketing assets, your print, your POP, everything that you would normally see in an in-house group. We also develop digital media, support our ECRM programs, our loyalty program, Papa Rewards, develop materials for that. We have established brand standards for the brand, been through probably, I guess, 8 or 9 different redos of brand standards during my time with the company. Also do work with, like I said, pretty closely with the agency on the TV production of spots. I've been responsible for all the television creative for the brand since 2001. So literally have produced hundreds of commercials that involve tabletop food footage, like you see the beautiful pizza pools, all that, in addition to working with, live productions. With live productions, worked with various celebrity talent, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning. You've probably seen those spots, and you've seen the spots with Shaquille O'Neal on here now. In addition to those folks have done partnerships as well. There are a lot of movie partnerships we've done throughout the years that I've worked with. Sony has been a great partner working on the Spider-Man franchise. If you've seen the Spider-Man XL 2-topping pizza promotion, that's been I think that was last year or a couple years back. Spider-Man Returns, King Kong. We've done quite a few movie partnerships out there as well. Another partnership I'm very proud of was when we did with the NFL. We were the official pizza of the NFL, and in our first full year as a partner with the NFL, we actually became the most recognized sponsor of the NFL, beating out Gatorade. And if anyone's ever seen an NFL, you know there's always Gatorade on the sidelines, etc. It's kind of a funny thing, but Saturday Night Live before this year's Super Bowl actually did a mock spot with the brand because there's some things, and actually had us as the spot that they aired, even though we have not been an official NFL sponsor for a number of years. So it's kind of funny that halo has kind of stuck around, that they associate our brand with the NFL, even though we're no longer paying for that. As far as looking forward, that's again, production's in my blood. I do love working with the national agency on moving things forward. My next role would be probably in that similar type of role, working with an agency on production. Doesn't necessarily have to be on a as large a scale as I've been with Papa John's. One of the things that excites me the most about where marketing is going is our traditional marketing, and I've heard this with print. Back 15 years ago, 20 years ago, they were saying print's dying out. Still dying, by the way. It's not dead, but you're now hearing about traditional marketing dying. But it's like your TV. You have all these cord cutters out there that are going away from the traditional TV, your radio, your outdoor, and you got to find a way to hit that target of that 18 to 49-year-old audience and be maybe a little more nimble. Put stuff out there, do some testing, whether it's with OTT, whether it's getting out there with streaming, whether it's getting involved in more in social and using that as a way to monetize and get your brand message out there. So that's looking to stick with what I know. Obviously open to any new opportunities as long as they're here in the Louisville area. And like I said, been a great ride at Papa John's. Still here for a little bit longer, but looking forward to the next chapter and seeing where things can go. Bernie, I turn it back over to you.
So Kevin, one quick question for you. So 23 years. So when you started your career, internet wasn't there, digital wasn't there. What's the one thing that, throughout your career that's been a constant through there that you're like, well, this is pretty cool. And this is, TV commercials, for example, video, something that can live on. But what's the one thing that, that's come up that you're like, oh, wow, this is, something we really got to get on board and enjoy it, talk about it, experience it.
It's funny you mentioned about there's continuity. With all the change in leadership with the CMOs throughout the years, there have been so many changes. So people say, hey, you worked with this company so long, but there's been I think 8 or 9 different chief marketing officers, and with each of those you get a different kind of leadership style. So you have to be nimble. The other thing about Papa John's that's been great is it's very quick. It's a very fast environment. You have to be ready to pivot at any given moment. And we get daily sales. We know what our sales are every day, and we can tell when our competition releases something, and we have to be ready to make a quick pivot or move or change or stay the course. So I think that the best thing, or what I enjoy about marketing, the retail side of it anyway, selling pizzas, making sure we're doing that, is just the pace of it. It's the fun and connecting to consumers and finding out what they really want and what how do we connect with them. And it's it's fun. Pizza's fun.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something I think is very important for all 5 of us is, everybody thinks the pizza industry, Papa John's, it's, a slow process, but it's a very quick environment. You're managing multiple projects, multiple products are going out at the same time. You've got such a long lead on a lot of these products that you're well in advance, but things are changing rapidly. And, if you only had one thing to focus on, it would probably be worrisome. But I can attest that most people that are in this chat here, they've got 10, 12, 15, 20 things going at once that they're trying to manage without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, you have a national calendar, but sometimes you also have just-in-time marketing. You just have to get something out there. And with the the invention, or with the our online sales have just skyrocketed. And they're just that's where our primary business comes now, online. And it's not just your traditional desktop, it's your tablet, it's your apps, it's everything that leads into that. Aggregators now, that's new. So as new technology comes on board and new social channels come on board, you have to be able to reach out and touch them and develop creative, throw it out there, see what works, see what sticks to the wall. So it has been quick. It's been fun.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Scott, let's have you up next.
Oh man, I got to follow Kevin. Man, that's. But again, hello. My name's Scott Hackling. Been working with Papa John's for a little over 4 years. Again, will not be relocating. My wife locally is an educator that will be retiring in the future. So we're going to stay locally. But my background with Papa John's is in digital marketing. But I do have about 22 plus years in graphic design. So I am a creative. My roles there at Papa John's are basically within the CMS system. We run our crafter engine that runs papajohns.com. So I sort of oversee everything that you see on our .com site, uploading new imagery, new content, new headers, new nutritional information. I work with online promotions to get imagery out to them. I get to work with Kevin's team on some creative with when it comes to photography, adding the photography, or even using Photoshop and changing some of the colors or whatever through that photography. My background includes working for agencies. I also did a stint about 6 years with Yum Brands, again with their pizzas, and also with Long John Silver's and A&W, and also KFC. I worked with a small company here. It was Smoothstone IP Communications, but it got bought out by a larger company. For almost 10 years, I was basically their marketing. I did everything from brand identity to all collateral, all the kiosk, all everything conference. I mean, I had my hands on everything. And then, going into Papa John's with digital marketing, I worked with field marketing. I worked with social media. Again, CMS. I have a little bit of UI UX with under my belt. Also. With digital, working with Premiere Rush, putting videos together. So, have worn a lot of hats within the years that I have done, but looking forward, hopefully getting into something with more design, graphic design. And also I know the marketing business, been around it for so many years. So, a marketing specialist with a design emphasis. But again, hoping to, and also, able to do contract work, able to do freelance work, whatever comes down the line. I'm versatile, with print, with large media, with social, and with interactive. So that's my story.
Outstanding, Scott. So I'll tell a little story about Scott. So Scott and I go back actually pretty far. We used to work at the Cobb Group, which was a division of Ziff Davis Publishing. Gosh, what was that, 25 years ago, Scott?
Yeah.
So we went to Washington, D.C. to take our first HTML classes together. So, 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
We got a book that was 4 inches thick, and, you had to code all that. But that's kind of, where we started our relationship, friendship along the way. And, just knowing the work that Scott does, I can't say enough about it. And, he would be an excellent hire for any organization. But Scott, kind of the same question I asked of Kevin, over your years, what's the one thing that's really stood out that's, been one of those, not gotcha, but wow, I can't believe technology has taken this type of turn, and it's really crazy that, we're engaging this way or interacting this way.
Well, again, like you said, we started out as HTML, and we were just learning how to put blink tags in. Let's make this button blink, or do something like that. It's just amazing to see how far. I mean, HTML, CSS, even the CMS systems, how they run the engine of your website. Back in our day, you had to code everything HTML or whatever like that, and you had to basically do inline styles for everything. But it's amazing just to see how technology has come that far. And I mean, everything's at your fingertips now. So it's, it makes everything, really easy to do.
I mean, it is pretty neat.
And Bernie, if I can just jump in here real quick, I know Scott
Sure.
does work with my team, my internal team, and he's just always a joy to work with. Whenever we have, at one point, that job was actually part of the team that I managed, and it just got with the development and the online just growing as it has. They've said, hey, this needs to go elsewhere. So Scott kind of took that, went over in that direction, and he got hired in. And anytime we have something, I need to get images to Scott or work with him and say, hey, here's potentially an issue or a opportunity, as we call him. Scott's been willing to step in and help in any way as possible. So Scott, appreciate everything you've done and to help us out. And just again, like Bernie said, I know he's your friend, and I've worked with you, but you've done really good work.
But I think, another important thing that I'm going to mention about all four of y'all is, the cultural fit, the attitudes people bring every single day, the way you all treat other individuals. I mean, you're talking about cultural things that you just can't teach. They're good people, and, they respect others. They respect the opinions of others. They have their own opinions, and they're not afraid to talk about it, but they're also very respectful of how that opinion impacts other people. So when, hiring people, when you're looking at cultural fits and people that are just good people, these are just good people. So, all right. Up next, we've got Danny Evans.
Thank you. Tough crowd to follow, but I can top Kevin. I've been with the brand for 25 years. So started back in the 10th anniversary of Papa John's in operations. I was a restaurant manager. Came on board to the corporate office in 1998. Worked their call center up until about 11 years ago when the opportunity came on board for me to move into the training department. Started working in the training department. I hate to say it, we were building decks out in PowerPoint and presenting those. And then we also had the paper-based. Here's how you learn to make a pizza. The one, so there's a lot that goes into it. Kevin pivots, every day, and he makes sure that all the advertising's right. But there are a lot of changes in how we build the products. We need to make sure that our restaurant teams are, fully equipped to execute on these great ideas that marketing comes up with. So we have to pivot on the fly as well, because they're changing things sometimes up until the very last minute. So that's a big part of what we do. Like I said, I started out, we were doing a lot of paper-based training. We had just started our foray into the learning management system, which is digital learning. We were creating CDs of content that we would ship out to the restaurant that would show what the marketing offer was, how to make it, how to sell it, what you needed to do to make this a successful campaign. And with CDs, you had to be really, really careful, because you had to be perfect, because if you had to make a change, that was recreating new content and actually physically shipping it out to the restaurant. So now that we've come into the digital age, we're a little bit more forgiving, but I've used several different authoring tools to create digital content to go to the restaurant. And I'm familiar with Articulate Storyline. We also do a lot of video work, so I'm very well versed in the Adobe Creative Suite. Photoshop for photo editing. We've got Premiere Pro, Audition for the sound. So a lot of those pieces go together to make sure that we get our kids, and I say kids, we get our team members trained, because I treat them like they're my kids. So, and yes, as Julia says, I am the voice of Papa John's. It's funny, there were times, because I do all the voiceover for the training in the restaurants, I would go out to do restaurant visits, and you'd see people in the restaurants going, do I know you from somewhere? And it was always fun. So looking forward to, hopefully I want to take a brand that's where Papa John's was 15 years ago and bring their training department, full circle, and make them more successful in what they do. That's about it for me.
That's good. Danny, so like with Scott and Kevin, I'm going to ask you a question. So you've also been in a world where it was very hands-on, it was print, and now as you've evolved into a more digital world, how have you been able to keep up with, the training, the ability to understand what still needs to be done, how to engage with our team members in a more digital world? What are the ways that you're doing to, stay in touch, stay up to date?
Well, part of what we do, we have the Association for Talent Development, which is a national organization that, all of the trainers, no matter what industry you're in, you could be medical, you could be fast casual, you could be retail, but they all get together and they share best practices. They, this works for us. This is what we like to do. This is what's been successful for us. I think the other big part of it too is just keeping your finger on the pulse of what your audience is. You've got to understand what engages them. Used to be you could get away with just having a talking head, and just spouting information, and you'd absorb it. But now, you've got to engage your audience. You've got to make them buy in to the training and actually become part of it. So,
and that's true. And the nice thing is, what you're doing with training, that's so translatable for any brand, any category, any organization that has that training arm. And, that's one thing I want to make sure people understand. Yes, there's a lot of tenure on this call, but the skills here are very translatable to other brands, to other categories. And it's, not just pizza. Danny mentioned it, when you start talking about the audience and really understanding who that audience is. Our audience just so happens to be a pizza consumer, but it could very well be, someone looking for a car. It could very well be, someone totally different, but it's understanding who that person is, what message resonates with that individual, and how you're going to connect with them. And that, everybody in this call has that ability to do that. And, that part's very, very special and translatable across many industries. All right.
And Bertie, real quick before you move on, I'll just say that one of the things that impressed me about Danny is with working with him is as he's producing these videos, he actually is out there doing the hard work. I mean, he's not just, an executive sitting out there pulling all the stuff together. He's going out and filming the content. He's editing. I've seen the monitors and the editing software he's using. And, I used to be an avid certified editor back in the day when that was a thing. But, Danny's been very impressive and has always upped his game and stick with technology. So stuck with it, and it happened.
Very cool. And would definitely agree. You walk by his desk, he's got the microphone, he's got the monitors. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know it exists.
Got it set up in my basement.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's another thing too. I'm with Scott, I'm with Kevin. Family obligations have kept me here in Louisville, not moving to Atlanta. Really looking for something that we can work remotely, but in the Louisville, Lexington, even Indianapolis market, I'm wide open. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a nice thing what everybody does on here is the ability to really work remote. I think we've proved that over the last year that it's very capable, but we're all in positions where, it's not far-fetched to be like, oh my gosh, you can't be working remote. But I think everybody has that capability, has that skill in the professions that we're in. That's something that's easily translatable across, any profession. All right. Up next, we have Steven.
All right. Hey, I guess 25 years ago, I was learning my ABC, so I'm a little out of place with this group, I think. So I guess about me, I'm currently a Scrum product owner for store technology at Papa John's. I've held 3 positions with the company. I started off in the restaurant. I then moved into a voice of the customer position. I did that for about 4 years. So what I did with that one is all the surveys that you take after you make an order, or you're like in a restaurant and you fill out a survey, all those things. We took all that data, compared it to our operations metrics, sales, all that fun stuff, and kind of created insights from that. I was also responsible for kind of building out and doing some new operator training when it came to customer experience as well. So after about 4 years doing that, I moved into a product owner role. And so right now what I do is I handle all the store technology that happens at Papa John's. So anything that's in our restaurant. So something that's a little bit unique about us is that we have our own POS system that we built out. What that comes with is our own make line, blaster labels, receipt printers, and like driver dispatch. So just letting the, having the maps and everything that shows where the customers are at. So all that fun stuff. And so anything that touches those, I'm responsible for, enhancing, building out, or fixing. So a couple of the things that I've been in charge of is we've completely redone order entry for our team members. So something that hadn't been changed in, I want to say, 5 years at the time, we went in and completely redid that. We redid our make line, redid blaster labels, all of this in an effort to make sure that, as new people are coming in, it's so much easier to train them. So I've been in charge of all of those endeavors, and then I occasionally get to play product manager on something. And one of the ones that I've been working on lately is building out our curbside initiative that we've currently got running in St. Louis right now. So just a couple of, pretty high profile projects that I've been able to work on and had a lot of fun. And, as something that comes with having our own POS system that we built out is there are, bugs that pop up. And so I'm definitely in charge of making sure those get taken care of and prioritized. So I've gone through a lot on this team. So I'm kind of hoping to stay in a product owner role, ideally, and just kind of hopefully find a new industry somewhere in Louisville remote that I can make an impact on.
All right, Stephen. So I've had the opportunity to work with Stephen over the last 2-3 years. And, Stephen, in his role as a product owner, he asks a ton of questions, which is a good thing. Asking questions isn't bad. He asks a lot of great questions. He pushes back when things don't make sense. He's really good at the road mapping. He's good at, having the prioritization. He's good at taking requirements and, finagling those to where a developer understands what it is that, needs to be done. So, having that understanding of the business itself, what needs to be done for the business, and being able to translate that for developer is, something that Stephen also excels at. So when you look at that, working with him on the product side, very talented, ask a lot of great questions, pushes back, not in a bad way, not disrespectful, but, he asks those type questions of why are we going down this route? Why are we doing this? Why are we not doing that? So he's also in the same time thinking of other options and opportunities to do as well. So, very talented. So Stephen, got to ask you. So, the short time that you've been with been actually within corporate, you've been out in the store, what are some of the things that, really caught you by surprise as Papa John's grown and digital has grown more over the last couple of years?
Yeah. So I'm sure Danny said more of this than I have, but when I first started, we were it almost looked like we were coding when we were placing orders into our POS system. And just over the years, I've watched us go from what seemed like, memorizing a bunch of codes in the back of your head to having a touch screen that you can actually, place an order. It used to be weeks of trying to train somebody on this to now it's a day or two and they're up and at them. So that's been one of the crazy enhancements that I've seen over time.
That is crazy. And I would say even, just in our industry itself, the amount of technology changes and the way we engage with our audiences and consumers has been night and day from, 3 to 4% of online to where we are currently today. And, everybody in the stream has adapted to those challenges and to those changes over the course of the years. And, I think that's also a testament to the people that are on here is their ability to pivot, their ability to change, their ability to learn something new, to get out of their comfort zone, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's doing what's best for the consumer, whether that's in store or out store. And, these 4 guys right here have excelled with that and keeping up, and, the way they approach their profession is, top notch. So a couple questions before we end. As job seekers, what are some of the challenges that you all are seeing currently today as you're searching for other positions?
Bernie, one thing I can say, and this is just kind of a bad on me, a lot of the job descriptions I'm seeing now, people are asking, a prerequisite of a bachelor's degree. I've been in the industry for 25 years. I've been in the workforce for longer than I even care to say. But there are a lot of skills that I've learned in the last 11 years that would probably
Right.
take somebody fresh out of college and blow them out of the water. So if you've got in your job descriptions that a bachelor's is required, you might want to rethink that because you're missing out on a lot of good experienced people.
That's a great point. Really good point.
You know, with me, looking for, say, graphic design or marketing degree or marketing jobs, it's, they had this long list of what, the responsibilities are, but a lot of these jobs are considered entry level. I mean, and these are things that took me years, even, not to master, but just to know. And I'm thinking, my goodness, entry level people would not be able, to understand or to do, most of the responsibilities that they're asking. So, I think a lot of times it's, just looking at some of those things and then putting in for that job, am I being overpassed, for the amount of years and the amount of experience that I have, just because they're looking for, okay, that means it's entry level. But I'll look at it and I'm thinking, no, that's nowhere near entry level. So, just how they have things worded is just, crazy to me.
Very true. Very true. Any other comments?
Go next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe Steven doesn't want to go next. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. No, what I think I'm having a hard time with is, if we're putting applications out, it's obviously pretty competitive out there. Not immune to that, but I spend a lot of time building loyalty with a brand. And unfortunately, what that translates, I think, to on a job application is, oh, you've only got experience in one industry. And it's like kind of getting over that gap of, hey, I'm very good at what I do and I can learn something else, but you're only seeing that I've been one place, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think that, Stephen, that's important to, when you're talking with people, to showcase your skills in other areas and how you've been able to learn new things and advance in different areas, so that, yes, it is one area or one company, but you've got that ability that, you've learned and you've progressed within your career to try and do different professions, if you will. It's just so happened to be within Papa John's.
And the reason I wanted to go last is because, honestly, I haven't started looking really seriously for a job yet. I figured after 23 years of working with one role or with one brand, multiple roles, I deserved a vacation. So I'm actually going to Key West my last 2 days with the company.
Yes.
Take my wife
Yes.
down, go hang out with some friends, come back, and I'll relax and for maybe a month or two, and then I'll get back into it. I mean, it's really, again, I think everyone on this call, this webcast has mentioned that their skills have grown as throughout. I mean, I've even taken, like, when I went to college, there was not a thing called social media. So, you're kind of forced to learn through execution. Plus I took a, college class about social media. It's like, hey, just to learn what it is. And first thing they teach you in the class is, you have a syllabus, but by the time you get done with this class, it will be changed for the next class because social media moves so quickly, or things move so quickly. So, it's while we have all had tenure with the company, we've all also had to keep updating our skills and stay up to date on what's going on. And the results for Papa John's prove that out. I mean, you got to remember this. Yeah. We had, and this is public record, that we've had the best 3 or 4 quarters in the company's history. I mean, when COVID hit, this brand pivoted and was able to, deliver pizzas quickly. We came out with some stuff, whether it's the quality seal, whether it was no contact delivery. There were a lot of things that had to be executed that impacted everyone on this call, whether it was training with Danny, whether it was the online, switching the online, adding new stuff to it with Scott, and, at the store level with Steven. Everybody had to switch with COVID and do it quickly so that we became an industry leader, and our sales proved that out. And so, I think this is, again, great team to work with, not just here, but at Papa John's in general. But it's time to move on and do great things at another company. Looking forward to it after my vacation.
Yeah, well said. Well said, Kevin.
Yes,
absolutely. So as we wrap up, some important things, not only for everybody on here, but everyone that's potentially watching. If you're searching for a job, definitely keep positive. Continue to network. I mean, your network should be the strongest thing that you have. Don't be afraid to reach out to, partners that we've worked with in the past, vendors that we've worked with. Those relationships that you've established are so very important. So, keep those networks open. Continue to look. If you're a recruiter or a hiring manager and you want to know more about any of the individuals that were on here today, reach out to them. I'll put all the links into the comments, and you can reach out to their LinkedIn. Reach out to them, talk to them, learn more about them, see how they can really, help your brand and your business. And, we've got 4 individuals here that, on 4 different areas, and, there's something for each one of them somewhere. And it's just finding the right position, finding the right company, the right contact. But hopefully, this was something that's been useful for you all, something to get awareness out, something for you all to have a platform to talk. And, the big thing is, supporting each other and helping everyone along the way as they look for their new future home. And the one thing that, I heard this quote, it was probably a couple of weeks ago, as you're looking and things look bleak or, whatever it may be, just remember your job is just not quite ready for you yet. So it's out there. It's just a matter of you finding it. Eventually you will. But I do appreciate you all coming on. I know this is, stressful times for all of us, but hopefully this is, getting some awareness for us, and appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their night, a great weekend, and we don't have to shovel any more snow.
That's true.
Hey, Bernie, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No,
Thanks
this is
for
fun.
having
I'm here to support you all as much as possible. And, if you need resume help, we've got a good guy that can help us. He's great with interview coaching. He's great with, all sorts of things. It's Curtis Tompkins. He did my resume. I know he did Steven's, but he also, is very knowledgeable about what you need to do with your resume, how you need to personalize it, and just all elements. And, that's somebody else that we can, call attention to. And also, as a resource, someone that's very knowledgeable, that's done quite a few resumes for, my network itself. But everyone have a great day. So glad you all could join, and we will talk again.
Thank you.
Thanks.